I'm just keeping it, I'm just keeping it, I'm just keeping it, yeah. Give them something, they give them something, they give them something, they pay. If you're tired of being stressed out and been depressed about it, you say, we gon' let you know.
Yo! It's official. Like a referee with a whistle. So like and share this episode. So she said she loves you. How do you know if it's real or not? This is a good question. Something that I had a conversation with somebody a couple of days ago about this. And I kind of look at it like this. Because, she said on her job, she's been working her job for a long time. And she said the people on her job, they love her, right? And I said, hey, that's not real. That's not real love. It's kind of like a fan. It's kind of like when people watching football and basketball, the NBA and the NFL, and even college, right? And people are jumping up and down, hollering and screaming and name calling these fans. That's not real love. That's fake love, or some people call it groupie love. People are just being entertained, watching you jump up and down, catching a ball, or throwing a ball in the rim, or kicking the ball through the goalpost, or you catching the ball on the field, scoring a touchdown. That's not real love. And it's not real because as soon as that person that they're watching on the field, on the court, start not to produce like they normally would, they ready to cut bait, cut them off. They'd be like, hey, get rid of them, trade them, or release them. So that's how you know it's not real. That's not real love. The same people that cheer for you on the way up, I'll be cheering for you on the way down. That's how you know it's not real. When it's like you can do everything right, as soon as you do one thing wrong, it's over. That's not real. That's like the person that's watching this, you give them a high. It's kind of like somebody that uses drugs or drinks alcohol. Once that high is gone, you're kind of out of sight, out of mind. And they don't even think about you until the next time, the next game, or the next radio show that somebody's talking about you online or on the radio. That's the only, because first thing Monday morning, they going back to work after they done watching football all day on Sunday. And then after they done work 5 days, come back the same thing, do the same thing again on Sunday. But as soon as that player or that team start not to produce, they're not going to tune in no more. They're not going to buy a ticket no more because it's not real. They're just a fan, a groupie. That's why they call them fanatics, because they really, they worse than hoes, really. Being a fan is worse than being a hoe, in my opinion. At least a hoe give you a chance. A fan, man, they cut bait with the quickness. These people are not loyal at all. So that's how you know this shit is not real. And that's the best comparison I can use to what's real and what ain't. You know, a person that made a decision to love you, they want to know your background, your upbringing, how you came about, how you grew up, where you from. You got brothers and sisters, you know, your interests. They like being around you. It ain't got nothing to do with material gain or money and all that stuff. You know, now that the material gain and benefits and money might be a part of you, but that's not you. That's just what you do. But they understand that. You know what I'm saying? That's why when someone tries to get to know you, they're gonna go deep. They're gonna go past the surface. They're gonna go deeper than that. That's how you know someone is really interested in you. You know, because and you have to understand, a lot of people don't have the mental capacity to love. They don't. They just don't have it. They just don't think deep enough to even go there. They just stay on the surface. That's all it is. Because you have to understand, there's surface level thinking, and then there's what's below. You know, most people, in most cases, especially if it's a fan, they're on the surface. They're just looking at everything from what they see, their visual. You know, that's why you have a lot of. Because think about it like this: if you ever been to a football game, an NFL football game, you got a lot of these people in the stands saying all kind of racist shit, you know, to the players. That's not real love. That's not love. A person, nobody would talk to a person like that or treat a person like that if they claim they respect and love somebody. They would never do that. I'm sure there's people in their family that they claim that they love and respect, they would never call them names. If they wouldn't do it. But see, when they go to the football game and the basketball game, they get to antagonize the players and everything. And see, these commentators, sports commentators and journalists, to justify the name calling in the stands of the players, what they'll do is say, oh, they're just very passionate. You know, that's always the narrative that they talk about. It's very passionate fans. You know, they don't talk about how mean and nasty and disrespectful they are, throwing shit at the players, spitting on the players. I mean, some of these games, they get physical with the damn fans. Some of these players might have to whip somebody's ass every once in a while, especially in basketball. You know, but see, but see, they'll say, "Oh, he's passionate." You know, some of these fans run on the damn football field and all kind of shit, or run on the basketball court. Security got to grab them. You know, they'll say, "Oh, he's passionate." That's not real. That's just, you're just a uncontrolled groupie. That's groupie. You know, what you have is a person that have lost control mentally. They gotten so hyped up, and you know, until they lose all train thought, and they basically acting like a woman. Women act like that. When a woman comes across a guy that she's highly attracted to, she loses mentally. Whatever a guy wants, she will do it because she's attracted to that guy. It's kind of like when a girl goes to a concert to see somebody like Chris Brown, or back in the day, Michael Jackson, or even Beyonce. You know, when they go to see somebody like that on stage, they're probably willing to do anything within that time of the concert. If Chris Brown called some of them girls on stage, they'll go up there. They won't say, "Oh, I'm not gonna go because I'm shy." No, they're gonna go up there because that's Chris Brown to them, you know, and they're in awe of Chris Brown because the attractiveness of Chris Brown is off the Richter scale for them. And this is a once in a lifetime thing for them to go on stage and whatever Chris Brown does to her, she'll be cool with it. Like, so let's say if she has the backstage ticket, the VIP ticket, right? Well, you go backstage with Chris Brown after the show, and whatever happens backstage stays backstage, and the women are with it. That paid that $1,200 or $1,500 ticket, you know, they're with it. They wouldn't have a problem with it. With anything that Chris Brown would do or anybody in his crew would do. You know why? Because that's the Chris Brown crew. And they went, and in their mind, even before they went to the show, in their mind, I'm going to have a good time. And whatever that entails, it is what it is. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. But even from a Chris Brown's point of view, he ain't available to none of these women, you know, and he knows that these is a bunch of groupies. This ain't real. These women don't know me, and I don't know them. I'm just here to entertain them and make tons of money and move on to the next city. And that's just how it is. It's just business with Chris Brown. But for the women, no, it's a little bit more than that for them. No, this is a once in a lifetime type of deal. They might never ever be able to afford to get another ticket. You know? So whenever they do decide and are able to get a ticket to see Chris Brown, man, they're trying to make the best of this. They're trying to get as close to Chris Brown as they can get. Or whatever the money is allowed as far as the ticket prices or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's not real. You know? Because even those women that are backstage, they got the VIP tickets with Chris Brown, they're not asking Chris Brown about how's your family doing, or no, they're not asking. They're not getting personal. No, they're not asking him how his kids doing. No, not at all. It's about let's just have a good time, talk, take some pictures. You can rub my ass if you want. They might grab his dick or something like that. Yes, that's it. You know, it's not real. And if they get a chance to do anything else physical, well, so be it. You know, that's just what it is. You know, that's what it is. But that doesn't mean the women love him. They just fascinated about him. That's all. That's all it is. They look at him like he's like not even a real person in most cases. It's like he's like a fucking, I don't know, a superhero or some shit like that. He's not even human to a lot of women. You know, I mean, he is, but they don't see him like that in most cases. You know, if the average woman got a chance to talk to Chris Brown one-on-one, she wouldn't even know what to say. She'd be tongue twisted. She'd be so nervous, she don't know what to say. She'd be, just give me a hug. That's you know, that's probably where it would start from. Because she probably couldn't even believe she's in his presence. But that ain't real. That's not real love. So If you love somebody, if you truly love somebody, it really ain't got nothing to do with the other person. You just made a decision to love that person. And it's based on who they are, what they stand for, how they make you feel when you're around them, you know. And maybe they have relationship equity. You know, maybe they done something in the past. You know, it could be anything. But at the end of the day, you made a decision to love that person. That's what it really comes down to. And for whatever reason, you might have your own reason why it is. Everyone has their own reason, you know. And it ain't necessarily have to do. It don't necessarily got anything to do with sex either. Because a lot of times, it really comes down to how the person make us feel, right? Which is kind of like where most guys start at, but even women too. But it really goes deeper than that. That's the things. That's the stuff that people justify why they love somebody. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to how this person makes you feel when you're around them. You might like yourself better around this person. They might be a pleasant person to be around, you know. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to how you feel about yourself when you're around that person. And that's based on a lot of information about this person. You put a lot of time and equity, and you talk, and you spend time around the person, you get to know them, and it's a lot of information that comes along with you making a decision to love a person. When it comes to the groupies, they're not doing none of that. Everything is spontaneous, fast, and when it's time to go, it's time to go. And everything is micromanaged when it comes to the groupies, when it comes to the fans. Everything is micromanaged because you have to understand you're in a controlled environment at a concert, at a basketball, football game. That's a controlled environment, a small environment for a very short time, 3 to 4 hours tops, and it's micromanaged. And when it's time to go, show's over. And love ain't got a damn thing. Ain't got a damn thing to do with it in that environment. That's a structured, micromanaged environment. And the rules have been set, and the policies have been set there in that environment. And if you break them, well, you suffer the consequences. That's it. That's how you know it's not real. Now, if somebody really loves you, it ain't no rules. Ain't no rules. You just have boundaries that you should set, but ain't no rules. Yeah. Ain't nobody gonna go to jail or no, you know. And there ain't no structured environment. The only rules, if there is any, are the ones that you and her set for each other, which is boundaries. That's it, you know. And the good news is there's no one set of rules and boundaries that fits everybody. Everything is agreed upon between you and her. That's it, you know. So that's how you know the difference between what's real and what's fake when it comes to love. And I hope this analogy of being a fan helps you out next time. So, but hey, you might disagree. If so, tell me what you think below and share this with anybody else that you think would help. So like and share this message. Until next time, I'm out.
Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight, but then I saw the sky and that I like. Hair from Cali, I live in the valley.